Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. For the continuation of previous lectures for testing and commissioning, today we will introduce you with another testing device commonly most used for injection current and injection of voltage. Okay, so having different functions, steadily we will introduce you with one each function. So the name of this device is FREJA. Okay, so this is the front view of the FREJA. So how to make it start? From back side you can see it here. By pushing this button, the light will glow. Okay, so my FREJA gets started. Here you can see here this, and now when you insert this properly, 220, okay, having specific limitations, you can read the manual for this, and then inserting it. When this light glows, so my FREJA gets started. Having ground as well. This is very important. Okay, this ground is very important. You have to take care of this. You can see here the sign for this ground. You have to ground it before any injection. Okay, let's come to this. Okay, when I make it on, you can see here the LCD screen. Before explaining the LCD, I would like to introduce you with several functions of this FREJA. The most important of these functions is this dial. The manufacturer given it a name of dial. This dial, it has different features. See, you can rotate it clockwise, you can rotate it anti-clockwise. Okay, and then you can press it, enter. This is used for enter. See, like this. Okay, so now come to the LCD screen, and then we will go forward. Here in LCD screen, the first here you can see, focus on this point first. What does it mean? It means we are in first page. Okay, so the question raised in mind, how many pages this FREJA having? So here you can see 1 of 7. Our FREJA having totally 7 pages. 7 pages totally, used for different kind of injections of voltages, currents, and measurement of timings, different, for example, current phase angle, voltages phase angle, different features, frequencies. Okay, so it's very important to understand the first page. I will give time to understand you people with first page, because first page, if you understand very good, then the later page is having slight modifications. So we concentrate on the first page, because I will explain it here. Very in our FREJA, if you want to understand the FREJA, the first page is very important. If you understand the functions, the features, how to make changes in voltages, currents, phase angles, then in the second page, third page, and fourth page, so on, having any slight modifications. So see here, as I told you, this is indicating in which page you are first. Okay, after this, here this slot is for frequency, then this slot for reference voltages. I will explain this point, but you just keep this in mind, this point for reference voltage magnitude and its angle. Then here it is the line voltages. This will be used for injection of line voltages. Here you can see it, this FREJA having portion. See here, output L1U, L2U, L3, and commonly we used RYB terminologies for it, red, yellow, blue, for injection. So here you can change these. Then the phase angles of each phase angle of voltage for R, Y and B. This will indicate you this, and by here you can make changes for voltage, for phase voltages. Then the line below this is the current. Here you can see the unit as well, V indicating you voltage. This line for injection of voltages. This third line, injection of currents, R, Y, B, as I explained. And similarly these are the angles of the current for R phase, Y phase and B phase. So come here, first I will show you how to use this dial function. Here you can see, now I am in this position. You can see the brackets. When I enter, okay, by pressing enter the dial, you can see here this signs changed, this bracket signs changed. It means now you can edit this. Okay, again by entering I can move from these points. Now for example I will come to the voltage section. Now here I am in the voltage. Okay, if I want to make any change in the voltage of R phase, so first what I will do, first enter. Okay, after enter, how you have to make it sure when the bracket signs changed. Now you can see here it is now in editable mode. Now by rotating clockwise it increase. Okay, you can see it here, rotating it fast, it will fastly increase the value of voltage or the parameter in which you are, and by moving the dial slowly it will slowly increase. Here you can see up to two decimal places it make changes. Now similarly anti-clockwise or decrement. Now my value got decreased because I am moving the dial anti-clockwise. Okay, so here you have to keep one thing in your mind. This is not the phase to phase. Okay, here for example if you want to inject 110 volts, so by calculation first you calculate 110. So for this the VRMS value is 63.5, so I have to come to 63.5. Here 63.5. okay, I select R phase 63.5, it means 110 volts. Now as you can see here, as I explained, if you want to inject 110 volts, so here you have to inject 63.5 because it is line to neutral. Now show it here, if you need V line to line 110 volts, for this in FREJA you have to inject V line to neutral equal to 110 divided by under root 3, as you know this formula, 63.5. so this point have to be in your mind while injecting in first page or any page of FREJA injecting especially voltages. So this have to be in your mind. Okay, now come here. Now this is simply the I injected for R, Y, and this is for B. Now the next portion, as I told you before, see it here, this is the reference voltages. This is a separate injection. You can this FREJA will facilitate you. Here you can see U reference, see line and this neutral. So by injecting from, if you want to inject from here, from this point, you have to make changes here. Now here you can see it is 0 volts and angle 0. So here you can make changes in this section by injection from this point. Okay, so these are the two correlated. If you are inserting from here, injection is from here, you have to make changes in this point. Now after this, here, which for what purpose this is used, see it here. Here we have different options, U123, I123. When you select this option, any change you make in this voltage side will automatically be make changes in Y and B phase as well. Okay, so when you select this, any change you make here will appear here as well. If you select this, any change you make here will appear here and here. So if you inject something in one phase, will be injected for all the three phases correspondingly. Okay, so here in selection you have to take care of this in what you need. For example, if you need to make change in the voltage, if you need to make change in the voltages and current, so you have to select this. Okay, now this is the first option. Okay, U123 equal to I123. Okay, then I1 equal to I2, I3. What does it mean? If I have to make a change only in current of R, Y and B phase at the same time, then I have to select this option. By selecting this option, you can make change in R, Y or B. It will automatically come the same value in the all three phases, but only for current. Okay, other option we have in this portion is U1 equal to U2 equal to U3. What does it mean? If I want to make change only in the voltage section of R, Y and B at the same time, then I have to select this option. Means by selecting this option, if I make any change in the R phase, will be followed in the Y and will be followed in the blue phase as well. So for example, as an example, I will give you example for one. Okay, I have selected see here, I have selected U1 equal to U2 equal to U3. Okay, now you will follow here. You will see if I make any change in the voltage section. For example, I make change in the, here you can see I make changes in the R phase of voltage. Automatically this change is followed in the Y phase and in the blue phase. Here this sign is for voltages. So similarly, the other option we have here, I1 equal to I2 equal to I3, I explained. U1 equal to U2. The other option we have here, none. By selecting none, any change you make in voltage or in current will only be limited to that phase, will not be followed in the other phases of voltage or current. Okay, so next I select this. Okay, then the next portion here, this is for what purpose? See it here, this is used for phase angles. Okay, as I explained, this portion is for the phase angles of currents and for voltage, and this is for current. So here we can make changes according to our need. If you select this U phase equal to U phase plus 120, if you select this option, for example selecting this 0, it will be 120 and this will be 240, as you know from the this into 120 degree and this is 240 degree. So by selecting this, it will come like this. Other option we are having similarly for I, for current phase angles. So by selecting this, having the same procedure, this is VR, this is VB, and this is VY. Similarly, IR, IB, and IY. It will follow the same pattern. Other option, U and I equal to 120 degree. Means by selecting this, you can make change here, will be followed here as the same time as well. If you make change here, will be followed at the same time by the difference of 120 degrees. Similarly, I1 equal to I2, and if you select the none option, by selecting this, make any change accordingly in the phase in which you are dealing. It means that this change will not be followed in the other phases. For example, by selecting none, if I make any change in the R phase, it will not be followed in the Y phase and in the B phase. Similarly, by selecting none, if I make any change in the current angle in R phase, will not be followed in Y and in B phase. After completing this section, now you are familiar with the almost all functions of first page. How to make change, how to change the voltage, how to make change in the current angle, and how to change the magnitude of the current. And now I will concentrate on these points. Here you can see this 1/7. So if I press 1, what will happen? I will go to the next page. If I press 3, I will go to the third page of FREJA. Similarly for fourth page. So similarly, by pressing this, it will get you to the next page of FREJA. And similarly, this 4 is used for to come to the previous page. Now here you can see I am in the fourth page. So when I press 4, I will go to the third page. When I press 4 again, I will go to the second page. If I press 4 again, I will go to the 7th page. Now after completing this, okay, show it this, concentrate on these points. Okay, here you can see these are used for voltage section, and this is for you, this is used for current. Okay, so after all, I make changes here, and my lines are connected through jumpers to the point which I want to inject the current or voltage. I will connect it to these points. After this, what I will do, the second, this 2 button, this is used for start. Here you can see start. When complete the changes according to your setting, then inject current. Inject current or inject voltage, you have to press 2. Again for stop, you have to press 2 again. So this 2 is used for start and stop purposes. this was all about the first page of FREJA. Before going to the next page, I will introduce you to the other functions of our FREJA. Here you can see binary inputs. Concentrate, okay. Binary inputs. Binary inputs are the inputs which I will give to my FREJA for commands activation or command deactivation. What I mean by command activation or command deactivation, if I get the input through these binary inputs, I will allow my FREJA to communicate with these inputs either to stop or start or stop. Similarly for measuring of timing. So in the next page we will introduce to you how we will measure time with this. Now I am going to the next page. This second page having these similarities with the first page. As I told you before, to keep focus too much on the first page, because if you understand the first page, then it will be easy to go with the next pages of FREJA. Here you can see similarities. Now here this is indicating I am in the second page of FREJA. Similarly, this is for making changes in hertz frequency. Okay, so all are the same except this point. Here you can see this section differs from the first page. Now I will explain these points. As I told you, binary inputs, so this is for binary input section. Now here you can see I will choose a contact by pressing the dial, means enter, and make changes in these contacts. Okay, so when I select star, show it here. When I select star, my input binary inputs will be like this: normally open to normally close. When I select this, it will show or it will give a command from normally close to normally open. And if I select this option, what does it will mean? It will mean either normally open to normally close to normally open, or normally open to normally close. Here you can see now I have selected this. So what does it mean? From normally close to normally open. This input will be like start the timing from normally close to normally open. When I select this minus sign, what does it will mean? Whenever the contact changes, start and stop the timer. Whenever the contact changes from normally close to normally open or normally open to normally close, start and stop the timing. So here you can see 1, 2 and 3. Here we will use these 3. See, 1, 2 and 3 for these functions. Now what does this second portion is telling us about? This second this portion is telling us only about the back indications. What does I mean by the back indication? I will show this you through jumper. As I told you, this is only showing us the back indication. Now here show this. When I make this jumper, here this sign changed. So this portion is showing us only the back indication. Here see, because this is in series, here you can see this line. Concentrate on these lines. Anywhere you inject in these 5, make the jumper or making any connection, so it will show you here. For example, now I am in the second. Here you can see, and now see this contact changed. So this just for back indication purposes. Okay, so after understanding this portion, now I will show you this function. What is this function used for? Here you can select contacts or voltage, change these by through contacts or voltage. Here you can select. So if I am using contacts and I am using these for contacts positions, so I will select this as a contact. Okay, then considering specific values, it will show me the timing. For example, I give some timing and some voltages I applied and I put something in the binary input sections. After some time, their specific time, when it reaches, my injection will get stopped and it will give me the timings of dates. So this portion will show you how much time it takes. Okay, and similarly all are the same. If you press 1, it will go to the third page. Okay, in all changes, if you want to inject, so simply press 2, it will start, injection will be started. Similarly, this 4 is used for going to the back page. So after all, this was the details which I shared with you people about the second page of our FREJA. Now I will go to the third page. Okay, if you understand the second page, so this third page will be easy to understand. Here you can see the same contacts you can select for binary inputs: steric, hollow circle, or this dotted line. Okay, here it is showing you first, second. What does it first and second means, or off delay means? I will explain this point. This first is giving the time for FREJA to not take any action. This first cycles here, it means 120 cycles, means that I will tell my FREJA to not consider time it for 120 cycles. Start your timing after 120 cycles. Okay, for what purpose this second is used? This is used for start and stopping of the timer. So here be sure, for example, if my timing measurement according to my settings, I expect it to be 10 seconds, so I have to make it sure that here the cycles should be more than 10 seconds. Because if I select, for example, if I select 9 seconds, what will happen? My FREJA will get stopped after this point reached. So what will happen? No time will be measured here, because this time measurement is associated with my binary inputs. So my FREJA gets stopped by reaching this, not by changing the contacts from normally open to normally close, or normally close to normally open. So in this in second, you have to take care of this. For example, if my settings is like I need, according to my setting, 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, my expected time to stop the FREJA or to stop the injection when the contacts converted. So here I have to make it sure I select 11 seconds or 12 seconds just to show me, because if something wrong with my connections and FREJA didn't stop, how I will know? After 11 or 12 seconds, if the time reached, it will stop. So I will know that my time means that binary inputs, through binary inputs my contacts doesn't change, so my time doesn't get stopped and nothing being shown here. And if everything works accordingly, then here you will see the time. Okay, so it is always advised to set the first page for some time. give the FREJA some time to not measure that, because it is just like for example, if you connect it to a relay, so relay may take some time, for example 30 seconds, or may sorry, 30 seconds is much time, maybe 30 milliseconds or 50 milliseconds, like this. So the FREJA will the relay will take time with himself to coordinate with the other equipments. So this time is always required for some of the equipments. So you have to select it maybe 60 cycles, give some time to FREJA, okay, to make the other relay which is connected to your FREJA to make it ready. After this, consideration starts. So maybe 40 cycles, 60 cycles, 80 cycles, different for different kinds of relays. Okay, now similarly, if I want to go to the next page, I will select 1. I will press 1, and after completing changes, if I want to inject, I will press 2 to start. And this offset off delay, this is used for off time delay, means 4 cycles delay will be here in stopping the FREJA. So after finishing this portion, I will go to the next page. For here, this third button is used for, here you can see binary output. So when I press this, first come to this, here you can see the binary outputs function in the FREJA. This portion is related to binary outputs. So here similarly I will choose the contact, normally open, normally closed, or either. Okay, binary output 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is here, show it here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So similarly make changes here, normally open, normally closed, and what this time is for the delay to start the binary output. So 15 milliseconds here, after 15 milliseconds my binary outputs will take start. Similarly for 2, 3 and 4 having different time delays, 15 milliseconds, 15 milliseconds, 15 milliseconds, each will show you here. Okay, now I will go to the next page. After finishing the page number 3, I will go to the 4th page of FREJA. Here you can see this page is used only for making ramps. Okay, so making ramps between the set values of page 1 and page 2. It will make a ramp between the set values of page 1 and page number 2 with respect to voltage, with respect to current, okay, with respect to phase angle of voltage, and with respect to phase angle of current, and similarly with respect to frequency. Now here you have to keep this point in your mind. By selecting this, the changes will be made per seconds. So here I will show you with example. For example, if I select make change with respect to voltage, so I will enter, press the dial and then change. For example, I select 5, enter. By selecting 5, it will means make ramp with respect to time per seconds 5 volts. My ramps will be 5 volts per seconds. Similarly, I can select it for the angle as well, angle of my voltage, phase angle of my voltage. Make change per seconds. Here I will select a value. Similarly here and here for phase current angle, and then similarly with respect to frequency I will set, if I make want to make changes according with frequency, so I will select here the frequency. For example, if I select 2, so after second it will make change with 2 frequency 2, increment or decrement, increment, sorry. Okay, so similarly making changes and then start injection. So this fourth page is almost about making ramps. When we need ramps, we will make change. We will come to the fourth page and start injection according to our requirements. Then next page, fifth page. Now this fifth page is used for what purpose? Here you can see it. You reference R, Y and B or R, S, T. Commonly we use the name of R, Y, B. So here they have used the terminologies of R, S, T for red phase, yellow phase and blue phase. So here this fifth page is facilitating us to select AC or DC or off. So what does it mean? So for example, if I select R phase, okay, as DC, I want to inject in this phase DC, not AC. So here it will facilitate, the fifth page will facilitate us for this function. It having a special feature of selecting AC, DC. Okay, similarly I can select off as well. What off will mean? No injection from this, here from this line, no injection. If I select off for S or for Y phase, so similarly no injection, no AC, no DC from this. So this page is all about selecting AC, DC or off. It means no use of R phase or Y phase or B phase. You will select off for that. Here I will show you by example. If I inject, select this off, okay, enter, and then here you can see I select off in the fifth page. So what off means? No injection. Here you can see this empty portion means nothing being injected, neither AC nor DC being injected by this phase. So similarly, if I select DC for in the fifth page for Y phase, so similarly it will appear DC, not AC. This injection will be for DC, not for AC then after my selection. So after finishing this page, we will go to the next page. See, here it will show you sixth page. This sixth page is used for transducers functions. If I need to test some transducers through my FREJA, I will use the sixth page. Show this. Here you can see this point is for transducer. Any transducer for testing, we want to test it through FREJA, we will connect it here and similarly inject by from these points or from these or from these. So this circuit will be like say this is any transducer I want to check. I will connect it to like this circuit I will make, and start the injection by considering the functions of the transducer. So here, according to my injection, I will inject in the 6th page. But why it's not appearing here? Because in the 5th page I select off. So here I will make it on, make it AC, select, and go to the 6th page. Here you can see now it appears. So according to my testing, I will inject and select the injection points. For example, if I need 110 volts for my transducer, so I will select here 63.5, and similarly the currents, and according to that then I will make the test for my transducer. So this 6th page is all about the function for testing transducer. This FREJA facilitates us through its 6th number page for transducer testing. So this was all about the 6th page. Then this is all 7th page, or the last page of FREJA, is about frequency. Here I can select different frequency for different for separate voltage. See here, voltage of R phase, voltage of Y phase, voltage of blue phase. Similarly, current for R phase, current for Y phase, and current for blue phase. Here I can select different frequencies. For example, how you can see it here, frequency means that this page 7 is all related to the frequency of injection. Here you can see the option. I will first select by press the dial. Okay. Here when you select the function all equal means the reference voltage, the line voltages, and the line currents are equal to each other. For example, if I select 60, so 60 will be used for reference voltage 60 Hertz, and R phase voltage 60 Hertz, Y phase voltage 60 Hertz, blue phase voltage 60 Hertz, I phase any current for R phase will be 60 Hertz, current for Y phase will be 60, and current for blue phase will be 60 Hertz. If I select free frequency, here you can see the free frequency. What free frequency means? Select any one according to your requirements. By selecting free frequency, I will first make change in the U reference. For example, show it here, this point. If I have any injection from this point, I will make change. For example, I need 40 Hertz for this point, so I will select. Here you can see for example, I make it 40. So my reference voltage will be his frequency will be 40 Hertz, not 50 or 60. For this it will be 50, it's 50, 50, 50, 50, but for U reference its frequency will be 40 Hertz now, because I select 40. Okay, so I will go and select 50 again. So if you want to make a change in the frequency according to your requirements only in R phase or Y phase or blue phase, similarly for either for current or for voltage, you can select here by the 7th page. So this 7th page is all about selecting frequency for each phase of current or voltage. So this was an introduction to FREJA. After finishing these, I will just revert the points which we left. Maybe here we focus on these points, but we left this point. So what is this for? Okay, so this is providing us a multi-connection facility. For example, same setting are for two different devices, and we want to make the settings or make testing for two different devices at the same time having same injection. Okay, so we will connect RYB for voltage here and neutral here, similarly for current, and this extra this multi connection will provide us to inject. It has the facility of L1U, L2U, L3U, L1I, L2I, L3I. It has the facility. It is providing us an additional connection points or outputs. Here this points also left. This point here you can see DC supply. If I need to provide any DC, if any DC connection or DC injection is required, so first I will provide through my FREJA by this point, connecting positive here, negative phase, and here you can see the on off button 1 0. So by on the FREJA, okay, press it, this LED will glow. Now you can inject DC from your FREJA to any device. It's being controlled from this knob, not from this dial. Okay, it has the separate knob for injection. So before, for example, I need to inject 120 volt DC, so I will make connection, and then according to my setting, before injection I have to make it sure that is it 120 or not. So by using multimeter, first you will select 120 volts. After that remove the multimeter's connection and insert the cable to which you have to provide DC supply, and then start injection by pressing this button. Then you will only be able to inject DC supply. Similarly, I explained this for using transducers. Okay, and here you can this portion you can see it here, analog inputs. It is further divided into two portions, high, here you can see the word high, and this is for low. This low section I explained you before, it is used for transducer testing. Okay, and similarly we can use this high having its own specification. This is for injection of high analog inputs voltage, and this is for current. Okay, it's having its own range, maximum 150 volt AC and 220 volt DC. Similarly for current, maximum 10 ampere AC and 15 ampere DC. You can use these analog inputs for these functions.